So this is a very common question that I get in my counseling sessions, where if I don't get a desired score in my first attempt, then can I retake the test within a week? My deadlines are approaching. What do I do? Now, other than a week, people ask me about a month, in 2 months. These are specific questions which actually are very subjective in nature. We do not really have one day that we can take the test. But yes, there is something that I can tell you that we cannot take the test in a week. That is a fact. You can't. Why? First and foremost, for the GRE, the retake is allowed only after 21 days because they say that you can take the test only once in 21 days. So ideally, let's take minimum 30 days as a target when you want to go and retake the GRE. For the GMAT, yes, 16 days is a window. You cannot really take the test within that 16 days window. So only after 16 days can you start thinking when can you be taking the test. And yes, for SAT as an exam, in a year, there's a calendar where all the dates are prefixed, preset. So you should look into that calendar in advance. You can retake your SAT only based on those dates, and you can't choose a date other than that. Now, let's come to the question with respect to, when should I go in for my retake? Now, very important thing that I believe is an important understanding of where you stand versus what would you want as a target score. The current score versus target score analysis is going to give us lot of, I would say, context, as well as it will definitely help us to know what really would be my test date. So now for this reason, definitely these are the 4 pointers that I want you to keep in mind. The first and foremost, we should order for a diagnostic report in case of GRE and an ESR in case of GMAT. And once I get this report, it's going to give us some fairly good amount of knowledge as to where we stand. It's going to tell us where the conceptual gaps are. Was the gap typically on where maybe I could handle all the easy and the moderate questions, but I couldn't do the difficult questions. So my practice has to be a directed practice now. Am I weak in reading comprehension and I'm good in CR? Am I weak in vocabulary for that matter if it is GRE? The TC and the SC were wrong. So the analysis of the area definitely helps us to know when it is. Similarly, this is not just for verbal, but when I look at the quantitative aptitude section. So when am I really weak with DS questions? Is my data insights not in place? So every segment will give me a lot of when I look at the report and your mentor actually looks at the report, they get a lot of context as to how much time and where really the problem is. So now, once I've analyzed the gaps, once I've understood its time an issue, accuracy an issue, I definitely would need to know what is my scope of improvement. How much time would I require to build up on my skills? So when I say scope of improvement, definitely it is about a skill set or an ability-based estimation that I need to do. So I'll just give you an example. Suppose I am a very, very slow reader. Now, I prepared for the test for 3 months or maybe 6 months, and I couldn't improve on that. Can I improve that in matter of 20 days and 1 month? No, right? So it might be that I need more than 40 days of more improvement, where maybe I don't really become like a super pro in reading, but I can definitely develop a better strategic approach in reading any data, as well as my accuracy, my method of selecting options I can become more confident, more at ease. So even if I'm spending time, I'm not rushing, I'm not getting tense, because for many students, tension really gets the better of them, and they definitely on the main day, stress, fear, the paper fatigue, lot of factors really are is something that impacts your bad score. So it's not just a result of not knowing a topic, but it's also about not being able to perform that day. Hence, it's a test of ability. Now, based on this, the systematic creation, you need to create a plan. The plan has to be systematic. It can't be random that, oh, let me just randomly practice. Let me just pick up a question bank and keep practicing and I'll suddenly become a pro in 30 days. No, there has to be a proper assessment of which areas to practice, how many questions to practice. I need to replicate the exact test practice how I performed in that test. And so in a matter of 45 minutes or in a matter of 30 minutes, how many questions can I do? What is my efficiency in those questions? What are the challenges that I am facing? So this kind of a gap analysis is something that is advisable. So if you do that with your mentor, it will be great so that will be a planned reattempt, because I wouldn't want to keep reattempting the test, right? I want to take this reattempt really needs to be one strategic, systematic test plan that I am going for. Now, so this is a very idealistic condition where I am retaking the test because I really want to improve my target score. I have time in my hand. But what happens is when I have an application deadline hovering around my head. Now, this is where a student needs to not just look at a generic and a holistic improvement, but wants to analyze where exactly can I improve, so that I reach the realistic score for my colleges that I have to apply. So it's more like I need to focus on, maybe I need to shift my focus to a realistic school, and based on that, a realistic target. And what is that, which is that area, which is that, or the kind of analysis that I need to do that is going to help me achieve the score. So now my study plan can't be a very holistic, taking all questions into together, but it should be very strategic. It should focus on those areas that I can improve in less possible time. So this is a scenario where within a month, my application deadlines are there. I have to take the test in a matter of 30 days. I do not have time. I don't have the luxury to rework on every question and, plug the leaks. So now I'm very smartly going to focus on those areas that were my strength, but maybe for some factor I couldn't do it well on the main day. I need to fine tune that, understand, bring some strategies where I become very selective in my choice and target specifically on those areas so that I get a score that is closest to my target score and I can safely apply. So this is in a nutshell what I definitely think is a logical way of thinking your reattempt. So please plan it well. You are not going to keep reattempting. I keep telling that to my students. Plan your reattempt, connect with your mentor, and then go in for the test.